There is protest in the Port Harcourt because of the, will I use the word, agreement, a broker, of course, between Fubara and Wike, staged by the president in Abuja as a rock. And people are protesting. No, it is not the representation of the people. Does not protect the interests of the masses, of the river people. So, what is your take?
Uh, Once again, good morning, Mr. Chigozie. This is called West TV. My name is Charles. First and foremost, you have to ask yourself this question. In law, there's what you call consensus idem. That's meeting of two minds. Two minds met and they sign an agreement. And in law, again, that's what you call contract and a breach of contract. You have to ask yourself this particular question, Mr. Chigozie. What was the content of that particular agreement between Wike, Fubara, and the president himself? Is there support? Is there, the agreement was the agreement in favor of the entire Riverlands, or the agreement in favor of Wike himself, or the agreement just trying to enslave, what's his name, Fubara, as the governor of River State? That's the first question we need to ask ourselves, because definitely, whether you like it or not, Wike has made himself the godfather of River State. Wike is the lord of River State by his own estimate. First question you ask yourself: does the agreement favor the people of River State? The answer to that, let me say, the answer to that might be no. Does the answer give Kubara, being the most the democratically elected governor of River State, the right to exercise his fundamental human right as a governor elect in River State? At the end of the day, you find out that whatever the agreement is, whether the agreement is actually in the side of in favor of Wike, or the favor of what's his name, Fubara, but the president is trying to attach political sentiment towards the people of River State. Because remember, River State is being governed by PDP. And we are talking about the president himself, who is an APC member. And we are talking about, again, Wike again, who is nothing but playing a double standard in terms of River State governance, even Nigerian politics entirely. You don't know where he stands for. I call him a two-faced man. Is it a PDP member or an APC member? You don't know. But the point still remains: what is the interest of the president himself? What was the broker agreement between Ubara and Wike? What was in the contents in that particular agreement? Does the agreement favor Tinubu himself, or does it favor Wike himself, or the agreement against the people of River State? That is the question we need to be asking ourselves. So whatever the River people are doing, I think they are actually in the right direction, because the essence of democracy is not for you to foster, give us the dividends of democracy. And they don't forget the fact that once these two people are fighting, Wike and Fubara, two people are meant to suffer. The resources of River State will suffer, and the people of River State are the ones that will suffer. Let me give you an example. Let me give an example. Why I said it's the resources that will suffer. Few days ago or few weeks ago, we learned that the governor himself went to the House of Assembly and he destroyed a house, a House of Assembly that was built. Let's assume that the House of Assembly was built with 5 billion naira. Instead of channeling 5 billion naira to another infrastructural facility that will help in terms of reduction of unemployment in River State, you are trying to channel it to where? In rebuilding another another destructive house, or House of Assembly, that was destroyed by the governor himself. You see, it's the resources that's actually suffering. And the people. Now, check us here. If you have, I was opportune to live, I stayed in River State before. I worked at Transamadi before I relocated to a place we call the One. That was where I worked before. When you go to all these places, you find out that the level of unemployment is actually on a high increase in River
And
State.
poverty.
And poverty.
Does it mean
My
that
brother,
Wike only built bridges
my brother,
and did not invest in human capital
Tigo
development?
say if it happens to stay or live in River State, you will know what I'm talking about. People will say it's an oil state, but people are actually suffering in River State. Go to a place like Calibari or Goniland, a lot of places, you find out that people are actually suffering. So the resources is the one at stake. The government should have, 5 billion naira. Let's assume that 5 billion naira can be used in building a company. If you have jobless, like 100 jobless youths in River State, The company that you might have built might be able to absorb what I may call 50 to 30% of unemployed youth. By so doing, what have you done? You have helped in terms of reduction of unemployment in the rivers. But the resources is actually suffering in the sense that you are now backlashing, pushing back the resources that is meant for the developmental aspect of the rivers. You are now shifting it over to what the destructive houses you have put in place. So it's
Honestly,
not a
the
welcome
main
development.
contention is the soul of the river people,
That is it.
so that they can control the resources that is coming there. That is what is in. They are all interested in. Now, as this has happened, do you think the power resides with the people, which of course the governor has an allegiance, uh, of course, to serve, has a contract, a social contract with the people, not just Wike and the president, being a confederation state. Does the president has power over the states to impose whatever he feels is his own interest against the will of the masses of
I
rivers
think
states?
in one of the practices of government, that's what you call feudalism. You started from the uppermost to the lowest. Yes, there are some certain matters that you have to call the attention of the Mr. President. But that doesn't mean that it is every matter that affects the state that Mr. President just jump in just because he's the president of the country. You allow the case. Remember, let's not forget the father. The one that just happened here, is it Ondo State, between the
Akizolu,
he himself, being the president of the Federal Republic, he went there and he said to the then deputy governor of Ondo
to
State
tender
to tender
resignation.
a resignation letter without a date. You see, that is to tell you, and you ask a question: do we actually believe on the burden of the masses, on the body of the governor himself? The answer to that is no. We are not actually practicing full democratic system of government in Nigeria here. Because if it is full democratic system of government we are practicing in Nigeria, here in Africa, you find out that the masses should always prevail because they are the one that has the final say. That is why, in a full democratic system of government, it is only the masses that has the right to recall the senator from any seat. I don't know if I'm making sense now, but we are seeing a situation whereby most of these people do not even have what it takes. They don't even know the functions, the features, and what the characteristics and the basis of what a democratic system of government. We are here, a man that defined democracy, that was in 1800, Abraham Lincoln. He said it's a government of the people and by the people. You find out that that people he mentioned is actually the hardcore, what I may call the focal points of what democratic system. But we are in a situation whereby these people do not even have the value, the intakes, what it takes. They don't have the value of the masses at heart. So definitely, if you should ask me back to your question, I will tell you that the masses should have been given a full burden to what to exercise their right because they should be the one much more stronger than even the governor himself because they can impeachment can come at anywhere, but it depends on the kind of government. Don't forget the fact that the late musician, the Yoruba man Fela Kuti, once said Nigeria is not a democratic system of present democratic system of government. Nigeria is present democracy. It's a crazy good system of government in Nigeria. It is crazy. Democracy all over. So definitely what the Fubara and Wike are doing, let's not forget the fact that these people are politicians. I call them prostitutes because most of these politicians are friends. Fubara and Wike might be coming up publicly pretending as if they are fighting, but secretly they are nothing but what trying to know to embezzle and to shift what I may call the River State Fund into their private account. These people could be fighting, but at the end of the day, you find them drinking together. You know, Wike might lose the election today. Tomorrow you will see him dining and whining with an opposition party. That is democracy. That is politics for you. In political science, if you study political science at the university, we have three courses of political science. There's no hatred. There's no political interest. Are you getting me? And there's no permanent love. You don't have permanent love. I am a member, for instance, let's say I'm a member of PDP. Do you know that once I find out that this particular party called Labour Party or APC can favor me, I can swing in and cross carpet to that particular party.
Because there is no ideology
There's no ideology.
within the Nigerian political
That is what I'm saying.
system.
That there's no permanent love, there's no permanent interest, and there's no permanent hatred. You cannot hate that particular party, just like that. But we are not practicing democracy in Nigeria. What we are practicing is nothing but a selfless and selfish system of government. Because most of these politicians, they do not know the functions of a good democratic system of government.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
wonderful
you.
submission this morning. Yes, SM fans, you've heard it. Of course, there could be a possible breakdown of law and order if this crisis is sustained or is allowed to escalate, because nobody will want to continue being oppressed or suppressed by few political entities who are only driven by selfish interests against the popular interests of the masses. Well, let's continue to watch as things unfold in River State. And of course, wishing you the best of the Unitized seasons is Chigozie Ndebo.